Anybody? Scott, Steve. Steve, you want to go first? All right, give me one
Yeah.
second. Boom, Steve, you're up.
Oh, I am on. Well, because of all the red, white, and blue lately, I picked an American beer, but it's a Belgian style beer. So yeah, I picked a beer from a Pennsylvania brewery, as a matter of fact, called Tröegs. Some folks have probably seen some of their stuff, maybe had some of their stuff in the past. This is one of their Belgian double styles, which is called Jovial, and I know I've had this live at the brewery before. Absolutely delicious, and I thought it might be a nice twist with a Belgian style and a double for this evening. So that's what I decided to choose. I had a couple of these in reserve
Nice.
in the beer cellar, and it's a nice, delicious and corked beverage. So I've got to work the cork first before we get to wait for the satisfying pop. There it is. In fact, just a little bit of steam coming off the top.
A bit of
And I even
steam.
have I even have a proper Tröegs chalice glass, which I can't believe I found in my glass cellar. So here's the nice, delicious kind of malty, chocolatey brown uh, uh, essence that you'll see about it. It's really a good busy beer, as you can see. Lots of carbonation, as a good double might have, and mm, God, that's just all kinds of chocolatey and malty. Really delicious nose, and yeah, that's just what I remember. Not a huge beer either, even though in the last 2 weeks I've had 10 and 11 percenters. This one's listed as a 7 percenter, so a little bit easier going this evening. Although I probably could have used a few more points of tonight, but hey, I'll take it. It's a nice double, like really good, rich malty, and I don't know if you don't like carbonation a lot. This might be a little bit more carbonated than most people would prefer, but I really enjoy that. So it makes it, I think, a little bit brighter and a little bit more flavorful that way. So cheers to Tröegs Jovial. Definitely got a. I would give this, as far as doubles are concerned, especially doubles made here in the states. Um, if we were doing a 5-star rating on Untapped or something like that, this would be up above 4, at least between 4 and 4.5. So definitely a delicious brew from a Pennsylvania brewery located in Hershey, Pennsylvania, where the famous Hershey chocolate is made. So cheers to Tröegs for yet another really great beer. Jovial.
Now, does you have like a kind of a molasses to it as well? I mean, it is a
Yeah.
double, so
It is double, so yeah, you get that kind of caramely molasses. And I was going to kind of look through. So the malts that they use, 4 different malts: Abbey, Chocolate, Munich, and Pilsner. So there's a bunch of malts there. The hops that they use is Crystal and Magnum. So they've got 2 different hops, and Abbey ale yeast, obviously, and obviously it's got the dark brown color. So apparently the Tröegs brothers are known for their brews, and they had put this recipe together for one of the brothers' weddings, and they loved it so much that they decided that they needed to make it for production. So it is definitely a much more rich, kind of a family style beer that they've got with definitely just definitely a hint of chocolate and a little kind of caramely malty flavor to it. So cheers.
all right, very cool. Scott, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure.
All right, hold on. Boom.
Great. It is. Yeah.
All right. So for anybody that has watched our first 2 episodes, I have stuck with Carton Brewing, so I decided to jump a little here. I'm going to the other coast of the United States, a brewery in Northern California along the shoreline, North Coast Brewing. and they brew an awesome beer called Brother Thelonious. So, 3 things I want to mention about this beer before I open it up. The first one being, you'll start to notice a theme. Beers with awesome art and graphics on the labels really draw me in. This one is absolutely on par with that. Can you see that there? The second thing is, if you notice on the graphic, there's a skull sitting on the monk's lap. That kind of confused me at first, so I had to look it up. And the artist that actually did this mentioned that he wanted a skull there to remind everyone of their mortality. And at the end of the day, enjoy the day, eat, drink, and be happy. So another reason to try this beer. The third being that it is an awesome tasting beer, which we will get to now. The last 2 weeks I had canned beers, and I just realized that I don't have an opener. So see if I can get this open. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, that settles a little bit. Just go over some of the usual suspects here. This beer does come in, completely losing my track of mind, but a 22-ounce cork bottle. I went for the 12-ounce, kind of control my night a little bit. This is a bit heavy of a beer for being a Belgian strong ale. It comes in at 9%. From keeping consistent week in and week out. As Steve mentioned earlier, with these Belgian ales, this one is also well carbonated. Right off the top, it has very, very sweet notes to it. Give it a taste. Just as I remember. This is an awesome beer. You get a lot of fruits on the back end, very smooth. You hardly taste that 9%. One thing I wanted to mention in the beginning, and I just remembered now, the buddy of mine that recommended this to me or brought this to my attention, he had it. He said, you got to try this beer. And the way he summed up his experience really, really made me try to get out and get this beer as fast as possible. And the way he summed it up was, of course, now I'm drawing a blank. You know what? Come back to me. I will remember that. I'll bring it up later on once I remember it. But at the end of the day, awesome beer. Highly recommend you guys can find this beer. Like I said, I'm here on the East Coast of the U.S., and this is on the West Coast, so their distribution network is definitely getting this to most places on the United States. So, highly recommend.
One thing I want to know, to mention about this beer is that this beer is actually brewed with partnered with the Thelonious monks. I'm mispronouncing his name, but T Monk. He's a jazz artist, so It was inspired by him, and it's helped us support jazz as an education, and that's why he's on there. He was an amazing, like, I forget the actual style that he did of jazz, but he had Box. You know, only if we have the device you can look it up. T Monk. I forget the style. It's gonna kill me if I don't remember it. And now I can't spell Thelonious Monk. I think it was improvisational. I'm not speaking well tonight, but it's improv jazz. I mean, it was he was one of the probably one of the most interesting jazz artists I've ever heard. So when you said you were doing this, at first I was like, Thelonious. That sounds very familiar. So I had to go look it up, and I saw that it was part of because of the jazz, and they partnered with his foundation. So
yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. I completely forgot to mention that item. In connection to that jazz school, every bottle you buy of this, donations actually get pushed over there, so they can provide jazz education for free to all of the students at school, which is an awesome thing also.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Roger, send that to Monica. Monica, can you post that for me? For some reason, I can't get that thing up here. All right, that's cool. You know, it's interesting because we actually all chose Belgian. There you go. Thank you, Monica. We actually all chose Belgian ales tonight, so that's kind of fun, unexpected. But I'm gonna go jump in here real fast, and I'll get to the beer right there. In honor of the apocalypse of our election, I chose Damnation from Russian River. It is like I said, another Belgian ale, but this isn't a dark Belgian ale. This is actually a golden ale. It's technically classified as a Belgian strong ale. So I'm just gonna pop this top. It comes in a cork. I don't know. I've seen it in bigger bottles than this. This one it's like 12.68 fluid ounces. I had this a long time ago. I haven't had it in a while. I stopped drinking Belgian ales because I was drinking way too any West Coast IPAs on tap. Not tonight, but definitely have some. I have a few West Coast IPAs that in my fridge that I want to review, next week or the week after. So let me just pour this out, guys, for you. I'm using a chalice as well. This is a Leffe chalice, but you can tell that it is a golden ale, and I almost spilled it on myself. So let me just get a full chalice here. This is about 7.5% alcohol. And in Belgian golden ales, you can definitely smell like some banana on it. Not like some Hefeweizens have banana too, but this is different. It's I don't want to say bready, but it's definitely like a banana nose with a little bit of bready, sure, whatever. And again, super carbonated like most Belgian ales, and I let this warm up to room temperature, so that's nice. I don't think you can see this, but I mean, can you see all the stuff that's floating in there? That is just the lovely dead yeast or whatever is, I guess, left over from when they were bottling this. And I love the floating stuff that's in the beer. It's tasty. Sneaky hay. All right. Again, this is 7.5% Russian River. You know what? That's the one thing I forgot. Russian River is out of California? No.
Yeah.
It is out of California. Yeah.
Southern California.
Southern California. A lot of good breweries down there, but Russian River has some most phenomenal beers. This is part of a series that is kind of they have Damnation. Hold on. Actually, there's a whole supplication, consecration, temptation.
Russian River has the one beer that's rated #1, I think, in the U.S.
Pliny.
Is it Pliny? I'm probably Pliny the Elder, and they also have Pliny the Younger, too. Both of those are difficult to get your hands on, but regardless, this is. Give, please. Well, I don't know if I can actually give you one of these, but it actually brings up a good point. Actually we'll get to that in a second when we start talking about some other things. This is distributed year round. You can get it here in Pennsylvania, so you probably can find it where you guys are. It is a very dry beer. Like I said, golden Belgian ale. Very mild. I'm looking at what's going on here. I think More Brew has homebrew recipes for him. For Pliny the Elder. Oh,
Wow.
there you go. That would actually be kind of fun to do.
That's an experiment.
You know,
Yeah.
I have not ever done gone and actually taken a recipe from like a brewery, you know, or like a clone recipe of something. Majority of our of stuff that Scott and I have done have been like kits, and we've kind of just messed with the recipe just a little bit. Hey, Grim Reaper, how are you today? Yeah, that's pretty much it about Damnation. Again, I chose this because of, you know, the election stuff. There were several other beers I could have chosen. The Chamonix Creek has a really good one of called the Shape of Hops to Come. Again, would have been appropriate, but you know, this is definitely a tasty golden Belgian strong pale ale. So let me just jump back here. Retrosphere, can you send that to Monica if you if you can, or Monica, can you permit him to do another another link there? So